Guess what?
What's up?
We're back. Word on the streets. Your favorite 3x3 podcast has returned, and we got a lot to get in a short amount of time on this episode. World Tour final recap, season awards reacts, and Vince Chang's escapades in Mexico.
Oh boy.
All coming your way
Oh
on this
boy.
edition of Word on the Streets. Yeah, I caught you off guard with the Vince Chang's escapades in Mexico.
I'm
We'll see
curious.
how much he wants to share on this latest edition of Word on the Streets. Replace the E's with threes. You know what it is. The voice of 3x3, Kyle Montgomery. My man in the middle, Vince Chang, 3x3, the energy, and the mountain himself, the studious Bas Rosendahl. What's up, fellas?
What up, Kyle? What are you? How are you doing, man? Like the season's over. I know, like you must be relaxing. The beard's growing out and everything. Like, what's good?
You can always tell how I'm doing by the beard. So when the beard is long, that means that it means two things. That means that I'm taking care of a 2.5-month-old baby, and I'm not sleeping, nor am I shaving my beard, or I'm just completely taking the hands off the wheel, bro. The season is over, so I'm not worried about how good I look.
I mean, you're looking at a Weeble right now. I gotta admit, that was one of the funniest lines I've heard when you played. He gave that a Weeble. I was like, wait, what? That's a bar. I'm using that where I go. Yo, what'd you do down the street? I'll Weeble that chick. What?
That was a play on the Leon King. He hit him with that a Weeble way.
That
I was like, oh,
was funny.
Oh, I got
That
another
was
one.
funny.
I've been doing good, man. I've been doing good on my end. What
No,
about
I
y'all?
got you. I mean, I'm all right, too, but the thing is that I still got to give you two homage. You two have gone through a full season. We've seen amazing things in America Cup. Africa Cup was actually pretty dope, but you two got two brand new babies in the world and still looking younger. I mean, I looked at Bob's when I woke up. I said, this guy looks like he has a baby face now. I didn't think he hit puberty. He's just a huge grown man. And then your beard is actually getting darker. I don't see one gray hair. So is there some kind of fruitfulness in bringing new life, or y'all just doing a lot of after for men or something like that, just for men on your faces?
I put some makeup on before this. I'll tell you right now, I am not sleeping. My child has just grown his first 2 teeth, meaning he is not sleeping whatsoever.
Oh yeah. Oh, the teeth. Yeah. I know those days.
Yep.
Those are upcoming. But Vince, you got to look closer. I got a gray right in the front here, and man, I usually wouldn't do this, but man,
I'll keep that on.
You see those line of grays right there? That's what this season of 3x3 brought into my life. It was
There was a lot of stress.
17 cities, but it's good now because the season's a wrap. Like in total, all 3x3 events are done. It's been a few weeks since the World Tour final, so it's our first time collectively to talk about, react to the World Tour final. Oob win it, their third. 7 titles in a season.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to discuss whether or not what they did in 2025 is worthy of being considered the greatest season ever. That's coming up. But first, I think we should start off with the World Tour final, guys. We got to start off with the World Tour final. Just general thoughts, reactions to Oob getting it together and winning that 7th title. Maybe some surprises, pleasant surprises, and maybe one disappointment. I got a sneaky suspicion we're probably going to agree on a lot of this. Vince, you want to kick us off?
Disappointment. You guys know I've been a fan of this team for a while, but to have Maradi get hurt so early on, with his ankle, that kind of made me a little sad. I saw them with more momentum. I think they would have done better. I mean, everyone was trying their best. KB still throwing his body around, so well doing this thing, but Maradi getting out. I mean, I think Vienna had a shot. They let me down. And I was pleasantly surprised with Oob, and I'm changing their name from just Oob to Ultimate Beast because they're proving that when their back is against the wall, they step up. Because we were talking so much smack about them, saying that they're
Hold on. No, we
okay.
were not.
Okay,
Speak
I
for
was talking
yourself.
smack about them. I was talking smack, saying that they were on decline. I think they listened to the podcast and said, "Oh, we're locked and loaded. We're focusing right now." So some games a little McShaky, but yeah. But the main thing is that Vienna. I mean, injuries are always like their Achilles heel, and it's like with Nortner, him going out, and it's just. It was an ankle injury, if I'm not mistaken, that happened Marate, right?
Yep.
And you take away, E. Nice's shooting ability on that team, they're not going to go that many places. And, of course, it's three. But I got to give it to them. They still held their own, still going against, top competition against three. Hey, put my hands up. They're still a strong team no matter what.
Vince, they didn't hold their own. They got bounced day one.
No, I'm talking about what you going to say, Bas?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was laughing.
If my memory serves me correctly, I don't think they made it to the quarters.
No, they make it to the quarters.
They did not.
No,
They
I was
ended
talking
up
about the game against Rifa. They took it to OT with just three people. All right, that's what I'm saying. Holding their own, they're saying they still fought tooth and nail. And if they would have took them out, if I'm not mistaken, they would have advanced. So,
Vince, I think it's going to sound like I'm hating on Vienna, but I think your expectations for Vienna going into that final were maybe a tad high.
Yeah, and let's not forget Rifa was playing with 3.5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Mohammed did not look good out there for.
Mohammed had one game with 0 points. I was like,
no, bro. Like he played 2 games in the pool.
How did that happen?
No, I'm not trying to hate, but like he played 2 games in the pool.
See,
he did not do anything right for 20 minutes of game time, and then he gets the overtime against Vienna. Kasparov is so tired.
Dude, the shot
and I wanted the gloves to be on. But we start with 6 minutes into the podcast. The gloves are off. Muhammad's being hit with uppercuts and gut shots, right hooks, right up the bat. And now I got to say something about Steve. Y'all done drug me into this with y'all.
This is word on the streets. This is supposed to be nice. We're supposed to be real. Come on.
Remember when I said that for Steve to have a successful appearance at the final, all they would have to do is score over 12 points. well, let's take a look at the box scores, and it wasn't a success. Those are just. That's just I thought. Bas, you were up next. We just going off.
Let me nuance my take on Mohammed there, because what I was going to say is that he played 20 minutes of just a non-coherent basketball. He didn't really feel like he was a part of that team, and then he came through in overtime against Vienna and got a clutch stop and a clutch bucket. So he did play well and for only a tiny bit, but well enough for them to advance to the quarters. So that was going to be the end of that take. They didn't want to uppercut him and then just leave him like that.
J.R. Smith, that's what he is. J.R. Smith.
Don't you dare disrespect J.R. Smith like that.
Yeah, about to say. So let's start with my pleasant surprise, and outside of the teams, to me it was the fact that now, and Kyle, you might agree on this, we've gotten to see how 3x3 has grown in Bahrain, in Manama, because the stands were full all weekend long. People came out to support, whether there was a local team in it or not. There was a lot of stuff surrounding the venue, and that was full as well. And I'll be frank here, usually when you get to that side of the world, it sometimes the venues aren't as full. And this time around, it was really visible that the country of Bahrain and the city of Manama have invested in 3x3 and invested in building a culture. So I really enjoyed that, and that was a very pleasant surprise to me. I
do agree with you. I agree with you for sure. Yeah, that was a fun vibe, and it's crazy, but I'm actually excited for what they might do in the future.
Yeah,
like I want to see the crop of talent that Bahrain has, because I got a feeling that some of the faces that we've seen representing their teams, we might not see them in the future.
There's some new names that might have gotten the passport.
I think we're going to be forced to see what some of their homegrown talent looks like. Maybe some new faces will come in, but we'll see.
I had a question before we continue, boss. Like real
Go
quick, because
ahead.
watching the finals, there was like a platform of all the high powers sitting there. What was that like? As they're watching the games, because some of them looked like they were judging like this. If nobody wins, we're throwing them to the Lions. But then some of them, like, what was that scary a little bit too? 'Cause it looks like at any point somebody can get like a falcon and just get a basketball and just go away with it. What was that like?
I mean, in general, I think again, just the Middle East in general, and I'm generalizing a lot, I know, but it's hard for me to read people because I barely get to speak to them.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
Okay.
I'll just sit there and like feel judged, even though I'm on the side of the court, right? So that's all the experience I can give can bring across here. But I mean, I'm sure they were nice, and I'm sure they were
They all look important, though.
exactly.
You don't know who is who, so they all look important. So you just kind of walk on eggshells, and you make sure you're super polite to everybody that you see, because they all look like kings, bro. It's like
Yep.
is
Smile
that
and
King
wave.
Syed
That's
right
the
there?
tactic there.
But they were like
Smile
in
and
the
wave.
Can I
game.
bow, sir?
But that's what you said, because what they could do, because they were like, when I was watching, every time the camera pans, they were concentrating on the game. Like they weren't
Oh, yeah.
like on their phone. They were like, okay, what is this? What is okay?
No,
I
they
don't know
were
what
they
you-
were invested, man. And like again, from them to the crowd to some of the influencers that turned up there, like that,
Yeah.
they were invested in the game, and they really liked 3x3. So all for it. Now, on to disappointment. You mentioned Vienna. They ended up in 11th.
Yep.
The team that ended up in 12th to me was the biggest disappointment of them all.
Ooh.
Chong Ming with Carlos Lasmanes scoring 2.5 points per game. Did not win a game. They lost both their pool games against Miami by 6, and then Hangzhou, a must-win. They ended up losing it 22-19. What I saw, outside of Lasmanes just not being able to hit a single shot, which was odd, I saw Cam Forte not play like Cam Forte. His team had gotten to a ton of semifinals on the World Tour this year based off of bully ball just going nuts, right? Going to the basket, just putting people under the rim, getting his way. And he was facilitating for some reason. He was trying to get his teammates involved, and he did not take the ball to the basket. He was trying to be too friendly, and I don't think that's a recipe for Chong Ming to win any games, and it wasn't. And it was very disappointing to me because I felt like this was a team that could upset the field, that may be able to have a chance to sneak in. We hadn't seen them run all the way to a finals. This was just a field to do it, and it didn't happen.
Bas, he was practicing for the America. Don't you understand? That's all he
I
was
was gonna
doing. He was
say.
just getting ready to put on that red, white, and blue. That's for later. My disappointment, if you were finished with that thought, Bas,
Yeah.
it's probably going to shock y'all. I hate to get on these guys. It's hard to say that they were a biggest disappointment, but they were certainly a disappointment to me. And that, for me, it has to be the team I picked to win the whole thing this year, and that was Team Miami. I thought they were primed to be the first American team to win the World Tour final this year. They got James Parrott back. He played great in the tournament previous to the World Tour final. I think Mitch Hahn was having a pretty good year. I just thought all the components with the new ads and Caruso, I thought that this would be the year. And yet, the same thing we've been talking about with them, the same concern has been, is there ever going to be a head chef in the kitchen? Who's going to be the guy that they will turn to, without question, in times of need? And I don't think they had it. James Parrott played great. He had 11 points in the pool play game that they won. And then when they get to the elimination phases, they get almost nothing from Mitch Hahn.
Almost.
Oh, yeah,
Bro.
I think he had 1 point. I think he had a point.
He
I think
averaged
Parrott had
2.3 points per game. Hahn was gone.
Parrott had 4, right? Dylan Travis scores 8 in that game, but
Yep.
I think when Dylan has a high scoring game, that's a bad sign for Team Miami, because that means that they're out of the flow of their offense. That means that they're having to rely on Dylan, because Dylan doesn't take a high volume of shots. That's not the type of player that he is anymore. If he scores a lot of points, it's going to be desperation times. He hits some big shots. He scores 8. But they get bounced in the quarterfinals. I forgot who was that they lost to in the quarters. Was that Hung?
It's Sky. No, in the quarters, the Skyline.
Sky Dwellers,
Know why?
that's right.
Because this is what you did. That
Yes.
was the Wimbaway line. And I kid you not, as you just said, You need a hero on that team, and Henry Caruso, and I love this man, the energy. Yo, we love you, bro. You were a hero, then you became a villain. You brought them back. They're ready to win, and then you did that silly slap down foul. As I think Leon Fatigue is going to the rim. There is, and Bas, you could correct me on this. There's one thing when you're playing defense, try to contest a shot. But when you swipe down 9 times out of 10, the ref is going to call it just from the motion because they see the kind of quote unquote ill intent. You don't swipe at that. You're strong enough to keep your hands up. And I want to get on this point, Kyle. I was talking, we're going to get to the America. Some of us saying, yo, Dylan Travis doesn't know how to score. Like, why is he shooting so much on Miami? And I try to remind people, when this man was on, 3-Ball USA and Omaha and stuff like that, he was the lead scorer. He has that dog in him to shoot that thing. He can put the round thing on the round thing, but it's interesting that you say when he starts shooting at a high clip, it disrupts what Miami is. I sometimes think, if you got Mitch Hahn down there, he can post up, also shoot from the outside. If James Parrott goes to the rack and plays, above the rim, that kick out to Dylan Travis should always be at least the second, the third option in that Miami team. So I personally want him sometimes to shoot more, but you're saying disrupts the offense.
No, I not disrupts the offense because he doesn't do it out of the flow of the offense. He does it when he feels necessary, when he feels the pressure, when they're down late and they're getting nothing from Parrott and they're getting nothing from what they would consider, I think, their secondary option, which is Hahn. And when Caruso has played outstanding this whole year.
Yeah.
When he's struggling, he ends up scoring 6 in that game, but Caruso wasn't great at the World Tour Final. You could see the wheels turning. He was thinking. He wasn't active. He wasn't in his flow. That's when Dylan, as the leader that he's become, tries to be the gravity of the team and says, "Okay, our guys, they aren't playing well. So now it's time for me to start taking some of those shots, right?"
Okay.
And then he hits a few. He ends up with 8 points. But his final scoring tally isn't really indicative of really his performance or the team's performance. So if I look at a game where Miami, the box score has Dylan Travis with 10 points or something, usually I don't think that bodes well for Miami. Usually that means that his other guys were not playing.
Can I get technical here?
Yeah.
Because I think I know the reason, and this is what happened at the World Tour Finals, right? So they're highly dependent on kind of that offense being in a flow state, right? And in that flow state, you need to hit shots from the outside. Now, on the team for the tournament, the best 2-point shooter was James Parrott at almost 40%. Dylan Travis hit 2 for 10. Caruso went 1 for 7. Mitch Hahn went 0 for 8. That meant there was no space for backdoor cuts, so they had no consistent source of buckets because those are the two main things that they go to, twos and backdoor cuts. But if people aren't hitting twos, you can take the backdoor cut out because you don't need to respect them as much. And that just took them out of their whole offense, which meant that James Parrott had to go and try to break the defense down, which is something he's very good at. But if that's your only source of offense, and then even then, if he's drawn in the defense and no one's hitting shots, then you're cooked.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. This is what rendered Henry Caruso kind of useless on the offensive end. He'd been averaging almost 6.5 points per game over the last 3 months. He was at 3.7 points per. That's not enough.
No, you're right. You're right. Like if Dylan Travis is scoring 10 points, 8 points off catch and shoot, twos from Parrott or Hahn or even Caruso breaking the defense down, that's ideal. If he's forcing twos up late and hitting some miraculous sidewinders, fadeaways, deep twos, then that's not a good sign. So I was slightly disappointed in them. On a positive note, I was impressed with a couple of teams. Really impressed with a couple of teams outside of who win it. They're obviously the most impressed. I got to give a shout out to, how do I shout them out? I guess the only appropriate way would be.
The dogs were there.
Hey man, tell me I'm lying though.
No, you're right.
And we all had concerns, but I was really concerned. I said, okay, limited availability the last 6 weeks of the season. We'd hardly seen them. They randomly drop out of Bucharest, the season finale. They don't have Lazic. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be bad for them. And they came out like some dogs.
Yup.
And next year, look out for Hangzhou. If they keep that core together, I think they're going to have one of the most formidable three-headed monsters, if you will, in the league. In Vidovic, Jovanovic, and Kaluderovic. To me, those three played an ideal brand of 3x3 throughout the tournament. Everybody averaged more than 5 points apiece. Matter of fact, Vidovic and Jovanovic were right at about 6 a game.
Mm-hmm.
They played with passion. They played with tenacity. They played like a team that wanted to win and believed that they could win. They played like they had a chip on their shoulder. Made a run all the way to the semifinals in that World Tour final. I did not see it coming. They were really impressive. The other team I want to throw in there has got to be the runners-up, who have a similar last quarter of the season. Like nobody was looking at Radon Varus. There were more questions than answers for Radon Varus heading into that World Tour final. We were like, where the hell is Bukelis? Yeah, I mean, I see the 7 per, but he's not so involved in the offense. He doesn't look so interested. Jalgis is playing well. Do we really believe in Belavichus coming on as a player mid-season? Ujupis, there were big questions about Radon Varus Hop Trans. To me, they showed the best side of themselves at the World Tour final. I think they got not out coached, but certainly their strategy didn't match up to Oobs, and that's ultimately why they lost in the final. But you want to talk about a 1-2 punch? What's a better 1-2 punch in the league right now than Jalgis and Bukelis? Them boys combined to average
like
16 points, 10 rebounds, 80% from the floor, almost 40% combined from two. Bukelis is almost 60% from two. What?
Big dog, I got to cut you off. Can we say the Lithuanian literally shooting out of this world, out of the galaxy? I'm looking at this man, looked like Dirk Nowitzki. Kid you not, was completely confident. Every time that thing left his hand, I think he looked away like Steph Curry. The man was this. I'm looking at 57%, 8 for 14. That is top shooting number. That's Steve Kerr numbers, okay? This dude, I have given, and again, Bas, you're a big fella. Have you ever got on that court as soon as you turn around off the rebound and said, I don't care if I'm a true big man? You said one thing. I think you, Bas, was the high arc was crazy. What are you gonna say?
I wanted to. I don't think I hit him at a 57% clip though. Jeez, and I don't think I averaged 8.8 points per. That was look, we talked before the finals about what could potentially be the MVP field, and we left Bukelis out of that discussion because he just hadn't had the year. And this is the stuff that would have him, at least considered top 3 in the world, averaging almost 9 points, almost 6 rebounds, shooting at a high clip. Like, this is what we know he can do when he's engaged, when he's feeling good, and he showed it once again. So Radon Varus definitely out there as one of my positives. Let me get back to Hangzhou, though. Wang was pretty good, and they just They didn't trust him. I was so confused with this. So again, they played with their core of 3: Vidovic, Kaluderovic, Jovanovic. All 3 of those guys played really well, and then sparingly they brought a 4th guy in the court named Wang from China. Every time he touched the ball, something good happened. He was quick on his decisions. He was feisty on defense. He attacked every closeout relentlessly. And I thought he was a big positive factor for him. And then they just kind of left him on the bench for a while.
Bas, I was going to say, I didn't do a deep dive. That couldn't have been more than his 2nd time on tour with them this year.
2nd or 3rd?
Okay. I was like, yo, he's played so little, I can't even remember this dude.
Yep.
Third time. He's only been in challengers. The Dongguan Challenger and the Saizhou Challenger. And this is the only world tour.
Okay. So I always remember a face. And I'm looking at this dude, I'm like, yo, I don't know if I've seen this cat this
I
year.
haven't seen him
No.
at
You
all.
know, but that also combined, with talking about Hangzhou, kind of added to that surprise that they, this hodgepodge group, they lose a big star and they bring on, this Chinese dude. It ain't about race or nothing, but it's like, yo, who is this guy? And
Yep.
he balled out. He played well.
He did
Ah,
play well. I'm
but
hoping to see more of him next year because he was quite feisty, man. Like he was so sharp in his decision making. I really liked what he put on the court.
And a
um,
shout out to the Skyliners too. I'm
oh,
gonna go ahead.
okay.
He-
I
I'm a,
wanted to do
yeah,
that. I wanted to
I
do
just
that,
want to
Kyle.
throw him in there, like.
Uh,
But
can,
outside of
can,
that, I think okay, go ahead.
can I? Because I was gonna say, when I was a young warthog, when they were the young warthog,
Oh my
they
God.
went from the qualifying draw all the way to the semifinals, going against Oob 22-16. That's still a good show out, but I have to admit, this young German team don't look so young no more. These are some amateurs. They're some young professionals, and I gotta admit, that pick and roll off the top, Leon Fatigue and Brian, is a cheat code. Baz, you'll like this. It'll be like from Street Fighter, the low kick. Mortal
Oh.
Kombat, the low kick.
I
And
know
if
about
I
the low
could,
kick. Come on now.
look, Baz had to say the Kamehameha a couple of times when they had to do the anime stuff. But I have to admit, them Skyliners were balling out. All of them almost averaged 5 points a game. All of them, about 4 points something each. All of them, well-rounded team. They still got a lot of dog in them. I mean, the one thing I love about it is that they size is always that little thing that kind of gets it because Crop is a big guy, but sometimes he could be a little bit frail. But he wants to go outside and shoot a little bit. But Chef Koich, this man is not retiring anytime soon. This man's a true veteran when it comes to the game. He puts that team on his back and says, either I'm going to score or he gives it to the young fellas and say, hey, go. I'm just
Yeah.
going to watch you do your thing. Was a little scary when Brian got hit, though. When he went down,
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to get back up. But
Oh yeah,
it
the neck.
shows his neck because and Buzz, you analyzed that. So what exactly? Like he got dunked on his neck, like flipped back because you were talking about
No,
it.
like his shot he shot faked and
Yeah.
his shot got contested and somebody like landed on his shoulder and on his neck and it just kind of snapped the wrong way. But like, you know how you kind of pull a muscle in your neck all of a sudden, like that stuff will stick with you. You're not able to turn your head as much as you want. Like those things affect the player a lot. And I mean, look, credits to them. He played through it. They're tough. They went through a lot of adversity that weekend as Nicholas Kropp also hit the water at some point coming off of a boat.
Yeah.
And oh yeah,
For
so
real.
the dock they were on to try to get on a boat to get out of the venue after the qualifying draw just flipped. The dock was floating and the dock just
Yes.
went whoop.
Oh,
Wait,
we didn't
whoa,
tell,
whoa,
we
I-
didn't tell Vince
I don't know
this.
about this. So what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, well, we were taking a boat back and forth from the venue to the hotel, and there's a
Yeah.
dock that you stand on as you board the boat, and
Okay.
there was too much weight on one side of the dock. Most of the players were on one side, and the dock flipped. The other guys were able to. They got halfway wet, but they were able to get off before they fell in completely. Crop took a complete dive. He
Oh,
fell
no.
into
Yep.
the water, into what Bahrain Bay. You know, this was the middle of the day, right? So
But it's hot outside though, so it was like a nice cool dip, or was it cold?
No, it was the water's warm, but all I'm saying is your basketball shoes are gonna be wet,
Oh
your
my
socks
God.
are wet, your
Yeah.
gear is wet.
Oh
I'm
my God.
sure they brought a backup pair of shoes, but that's not your favorite pair of shoes that you would want to wear. So like there's a lot of
Damn.
stuff that goes into this.
we thought it was a joke, but luckily for him
Oh.
and everybody, they were okay. But that was
When
That
did
was
this happen
interesting.
though? Before which game? This is actually
It
kind
was
of
after
interesting.
the qualifying draw.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's playing
Yeah.
this whole even better. That just shows how like versatile Skyliners are. You could have been like, "Yo, I'm done with this, bro. Like, yo, this is a sign. We should just go home and go swimming." He's like, "Nah, man. I'm gonna put this outside. I'm gonna let this great Bahraini heat just dry my sneakers, and I'm gonna do this." Yo, that's
and
insane. I've never. heard
he
something
played pretty well.
like that.
But nobody played better than the
Oob.
Unbeatables. That's their
yeah.
new nickname, the
Oh, yeah.
Unbeatables. We got to.
Mm.
Bas has been asking this question even before the final. And all right, when you look at the entire season of Hoop, okay, they come into the World Tour final. None of us picked them to win it. None of us. We all picked Miami.
Miami. Yep.
That shows you the kind of general feeling that there was about Hoop coming into. Despite the six Masters titles, it didn't feel like they were dominating this year in the way that the records would show, the stats would show. They end up going on to win a record seventh title, capping it with the World Tour final title, the third in history. That puts them second all time. Strahina gets MVP of the final, also the regular season. And Bas has posed the question, does this season for Oob deserve to be considered the greatest season for any franchise, any team in 3x3 history? They won nearly 80% of their games this year. They won 6 titles in the regular season, record. And
That's
they win the World
tying a
Tour.
record, by the way. Tying a record. We'll get to that.
Tying their own record.
No,
Yes,
I
exactly.
thought they had. Oh yeah, they have 6. Yep.
Yeah, from 2023,
Yes.
whichever year it was, because they reeled off like 5 straight, either last year or the year before. Anyway, just to put it, to summarize what it means, I would say when you look back in the annals of history in 3x3 and you look at it by the numbers. Let's say you didn't watch the season, but you look at it statistically, you look at it by the numbers. You might be tempted to say, yes, this was the greatest season in 3x3 history. But guys, it's not all about the analytics.
Oh, here we go.
Sometimes it's about the feel. Did it feel? No. Did it feel like the most dominant season you've ever seen? No. You got to be honest. When you look, I can't say that it is the greatest season in 3x3 history. I'm still going to give that one to the undefeated Novi Sad season, 32-0. What was that night? That was 18, 19.
18.
One of the 18. To me, that one still is the benchmark. Outstanding season for Oob, but you never really felt surprised if Oob lost this year. In seasons past, if Oob lost, you'd be like, damn, I can't believe they lost. Like, you felt that dominance. You felt it. This year, you weren't so shocked if they lost in the semis or maybe they got lost in the quarters. Nobody picked them on this panel as the favorite to win the World Tour final this year. That's the reason why I wouldn't say it's the greatest season in World Tour history. I would compare it to like a guy who scored 35 points in a game, right? Compared to 5-on-5. And it'd be a quiet 35. And it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy because, like, what? How could it be a quiet 35? Like, I mean, it's 35 points. But y'all both know, y'all seen those quiet 30 games. You're like, damn, he scored 30? Oh, shit. Like, no. For Oob season to me, it's like, damn, yeah, they won a lot of titles. Like, yo, man, 80% winning percentage is crazy. Like, the numbers are there. Statistically, everything is there. But it just didn't feel like it was as dominant as the numbers would indicate.
I think it's the last 4, or what I'm going to say, 5 titles of the World Tour.
It was the last 6 weeks of the season. You're right.
Yep, because here's the thing. Shenzhen, they're in first, but then Beijing, Macau, Abu Dhabi, Budapest, third, 9th. And then you're going, hey, like you said, you know the old saying, when you see a god bleed, you could take him? This god has had a sprained ankle for the past, like, couple of months. You're like, oh, man, come on. You're not as invincible as you think. And every time you're getting to the semifinals, you're not pushing through. So you're like, you know what? Oob is going to be on the podium, but they got the bronze every time. And then they come in 9th. You're like, But Boz had a great question. You said to Dr. Strange, what made you guys step up? And he admitted, we were tired. Like literally think about our schedule. It's been insane. They have not been off the road. They haven't probably had a good night's sleep. What do you guys expect? But they did lock in for the finals. But the eye test, when you see a number 1 squad just coming in third, and then also just dropping off, not even making it to the quarters, you're like,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do in the championship?
Yeah.
So I
Look,
know what you're talking about.
I I agree with you guys in some part. I do not think this is the greatest season ever. I also don't think 2018 is the greatest season ever. Look, are we still considering Bill Russell to be a top 3 player of all time? We do not, because it's so long ago. Then the game was different back then. I think workload comes into effect here in the sense that I broke down these seasons. I can give you all the numbers, and I'll run down a few of them. Look, the 2018 season had a total of 9 regular season World Tours and a finals. Out of those 9, Novi Sad won 5 regular season World Tours, and then they won the World Tour finals. They did not lose a game, 30-0. Challenger Circuit was also in effect there. They played 7 challengers. Anybody want to take a gander at how many they won?
6?
None.
No.
Oh.
None. So that kind of the stats for the challengers, I had to dig down and go into challenger events individually because they weren't kept as much back then. That season isn't as unblemished as people make it out to be. Now, workload, and I went down to tournaments per month and games per month, right? That was a 6-month season. They played about 2 tournaments a month. Tournaments per month this year for is 2.7. Now, look, let me make my statistical case here because you can go on fields and all that stuff. 2.7 tournaments per month. 2023, won the first 6 regular season World Tours. They played 3.7 tournaments a month. That year, they played in 11 challengers. They did not just win 6 World Tours. They also won 4 challengers events and the finals, meaning they won 11 events on the year compared to 6 for Novi Sad in 2018, compared to 10 for this year. And they played 112 games that year. 112 in 7 months. Fucking Novi Sad played 58 in 6. You could take it easy. Lay on the beach for a while. Have a vacation for a damn week and then go back to play.
All right.
But if you're consistently good, even though your workload is insane, to me that is the best year ever because they won the most regular season Masters. They did win the finals. They had the MVP. And I think because of the workload they took on that year, of course you're going to lose some. Because Novi Sad in between tournaments could take a break.
All right. But again, listen, an undefeated season is an undefeated season. The Miami Dolphins, a 1977 or 79 Miami Dolphins, still pop champagne to this day when an NFL regular season ends and nobody finishes with a 16-0 record. Oh,
and
but now the NFL plays 18 games in the season. Okay, so what? Like, we're always going to be a product of the evolution of the sport. And it's not the teams in history's fault that the sport has evolved to have more games and more tournaments now. Who's to say that wouldn't have won every damn Masters if they had 15 tournaments that year? Then it would be end of discussion. Were they not that dominant?
15 tournaments that year.
But I'm talking about on the World Tour because we all know the money's different. So the stakes are different. Teams tend to play a little bit differently. They experiment less with their roster on the World Tour because it's the big boy tournament. There's a reason why there's a separation between challengers and the World Tour. So I always take challenger records and challenger performances with a grain of salt because it's just not as much at stake at a challenger than it is typically at a World Tour. But if you go back, and I'm not just trying to hand it to say Novi Sad, but they were far and away the best team, not just that year, but many years during their reign, so to speak. Man, if you add 3 fucking Masters to that schedule, they're gonna win those too. Like,
they could have played 3 more. They just didn't qualify. They played 5 out of 9 regular season World Tours. In 23, there were how many regular season World Tours? 17. They played 15 of them.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'm talking about if they added Masters, if they had qualified or whatever. Who knows what rosters they use? I doubt they had their core 4 for those on those rosters where they Bas is gonna look it up.
I will. Trust me.
This is like reaching,
it's
man.
It's gonna sound like, hey, it is it might be the second greatest season I've seen. But I do think their 23 season was more dominant.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt more dominant in 23. To me, that was the second most dominant season performance from any franchise. Was 2023 Oob, next to the undefeated Novi Sad season. It's hard to compare, man. The players are different. The game is played differently. You could argue that, guards were tougher in the 80s because defenders could hand check them back then. So they would have a valid argument. And, of course, they're going to score 35 points a game in the league now because you can't touch them. We didn't have three-pointers back when I played. I would have averaged 29 a game if we had three. Hey, guy, you didn't have three-pointers back then. It is what it is for your era. It is what it is for this era. So we can't really stats. It's a slippery slope. It's the eye test.
Okay, so let me propose something then. If we see Novi Sad as a product of the older era of 3x3 ending after 2020, and we see Oob as a product of the new era, let's say that 2018 was the best season in the history of the old era, and 23, with 25 coming in second, is the best season in the new era of 3x3 basketball.
I love that, boss. That's a. Please enter a clapping drop. That's a good way to do it because I always want to be respectful to each team, and I don't want to sound like I'm I'm biased towards either. I got great respect for both dynasties and what they've done. Honestly, that's a way to fairly give them both their flowers. Respect the era that they played in and say that this was the greatest team of the 90s or the 80s or this era. This is Oob's era, ain't no question about it. And they made a statement with winning that World Tour final this year because they knew that most people didn't consider them favorites outside of Serbia. They knew that other teams looked at them and said, "Oh, they're not invincible. They're not invincible. Oh, we can get with them." Yeah, you caught that, Vince. So that's good. That's good.
I give it good buzz. Yeah, I got.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead, Vince. Go.
Nah, just the last thing is when you're looking at if we're looking at the eye test, as I just said, going the season toward the tail end, they're winning as many titles and they're going third. Don't forget that 23 season they started off hotter than a fireball. 6 back to back, and this is when you create and. Baz, for you, your XP is so high and your leveling is so high. You can lose a couple. Your HP now is like at 1,000,000. So you can get hit as many times as you want, but you still got stuff left toward the end. That's what that 23 season was. They started off so great. Nobody could say nothing because they already did break a record. So even if they didn't win, which they did win in Jeddah, win that final, they'll say, but guess what? Who else is doing 6 back-to-back?
Yeah. And it was the way they were winning too. They were blowing the doors off of teams. There was no question. Like when they was on the floor, they were beating teams to oblivion. This year there was a lot of close games.
That's my point. Yeah. That's my point. See how they were back then? Yeah. Now, as you said, teams are going, you ain't killing us by 10, 8 points. We're going to OT. We're actually not. And there's some games you're not even getting to 21. So, hey.
There's two different schools of thought, too. Some would say that this season is even more impressive because of all the turmoil they had. Remember, they lost Dejan Majstorovic, early in the season. And he's the heart and soul of that franchise. I mean, he's arguably the greatest player of all time. Right? You lose him. Strahinja dealt with injuries early. Barac had everybody on the team had some injury issues. They were banged up, and yet they still got it done. There were people that would say even more impressive than them just running through the field.
Yeah,
but for me, I like the latter. When you run, when you just beating people down left and right, to me, that says powerhouse more than this season.
What can I say about
it? Well, no, I was going to say that made their run at the finals all the more impressive because their average margin of victory was 4.5 points per.
That's crazy.
The only game that was closer than 5 points was Amsterdam, who they beat by 1. But all the other teams, they just kind of blew the doors off. Now, I want to get into something else.
Okay,
Okay.
kid, because you know we're short on time.
Yes, we are. So that's why I want to get into it. Kyle,
Uh-oh.
you made your season award picks. You didn't want to tell me what the
Nope.
damn picks were.
I
You
wouldn't
still
do
haven't
it.
told me what the damn picks are.
I sure
And I am
ain't.
tired of it. I am tired of it right now. You need to give us those picks so I can tell you you're wrong.
All righty. Y'all want the season awards. All right, so my 2025 end of season awards, very highly anticipated. Uh, we'll start with one that's going to be a little bit controversial.
Mm-hmm.
I broke my Defensive Player of the Year award into two parts. Usually, I like to do a perimeter defender and a rim protector. So, my perimeter defender award this year is called the Thou Shall Not Pass Award.
Okay.
Okay, Gandalf.
So, the best perimeter defender in the league this year, VVO.
VVO.
Vic van Oostervik
Vic-
is my pick. Go ahead. I've been waiting to hear what y'all got to say. Look at Boz's face. I'm telling you, y'all gonna be shocked at some of these picks.
Dear Lord.
VVO.
Dear Lord.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Are you taking and look, I love VVO. I love the energy he brings to the team. But they didn't value his defense as much for selecting him to the World Tour Finals.
No, that didn't have nothing to do with that.
Oh, all right. So you're saying he would have been on? Actually, never mind. Are you taking him to stop a guy at the end of a most important game of the year over Jan Driessen?
On the perimeter, absolutely.
Jan Driessen is 6'9" with a 7'2" wingspan and a foot speed to match.
Man, look, you know I love Drizzy. Drizzy, no, not on the perimeter.
Are you taking VVO over Dylan Travis?
Yes, Dylan Travis was, and both of those guys, trust me.
Are
this
you
was a
taking
hard
VVO
pick.
over Paul Joko?
Joko. I was gonna say about
Yes.
the Joker.
Listen, VVO is a nuisance. He's an all energy guy.
Okay.
He doesn't care about being embarrassed. He's going to make your life a living hell when you are dribbling that ball on the perimeter. He's an all-out 100% balls to the wall. I love that. And I started to think, I said, damn, would I want anybody defending the guard position over VVO?
I got a couple. He's close though. I'll have to say,
Standing
look,
on it.
he's in that upper echelon. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But there's a couple of guys that are up there as well that I would consider for this. I mean, Alexander Lazic, I know he exited the season. I'd say Xingriu Wu from Chongming is up there because he's a pest as well. But going back, Paul Joko, man, like that's
Dylan
a tight
Travis
one to
would
me.
have been second behind VVO to me.
Okay.
I admit Dylan does do all the dirty work on Miami. No matter what, he tries to be like a Gary Payton, be in the glove. But as you said, as a pest, hands are always in the passing lane. Sacrifices his body every single time.
There was
I
also,
wish they had.
Yeah,
Who?
my bad. I mean, but I was gonna say this might tee you up for your next thing you want to say. I was also considering Worthy
Okay.
Mhm.
as a perimeter defender and Gwim.
Oh yes,
Exposito.
Gwim is actually a really good one.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was
Gwim's
hard for
great.
me.
Yeah.
But I said this is a sexy pick. This is a
All right.
sexy pick. I'm gonna give VVO some flowers right now. So that's
Okay.
my
All
pick.
right. All right. Well, what was the interior defender?
All right.
Yeah.
Interior defender, protector of the realm. Protector of the realm. Now, Bas is
Change my
he's
color.
a big advocate. He's a big advocate for this guy, and I've been wanting to give him award, but he ain't getting it this year.
Oh,
Shout
no.
out to Jan Driessen, Big Drizzy, but not this year. I got to get it to James Air Parrot, top flight Security.
Yeah.
What? Air traffic control on your ass. James Parrott, bro, led the league in blocks.
36.
He solidified it at the World Tour final. Like his athleticism, he's not like you can post him. He's not the strongest dude. Like you see the physique. But how difficult is it to get a shot up over James Parrott in the paint? and this was hard too because you got Luis Kowasku,
I was gonna
you
say
got
America.
you got Drizzy, right? You even Multini defends the rim pretty well this year. Last year he was getting yammed. Oh, fuck, Nicholas Crop this year.
Yeah,
The way he was,
correct.
but consistently, y'all got an argument against James Parrott. Don't be crazy. Don't
I
be
don't have an
crazy.
argument.
No. I mean, the only thing you could bring in, but I don't have the stats on that, is the fact that I think Jan Driessen and maybe with him, Nemanja Barac brings some more verticality so like body verticality to the mix.
Yes.
Changing maybe more shots in that regard. I think a lot of James Parrott's blocks are when he comes in off the help side and just kind of flies in there and gets some second action on a shot. But I agree with you. He has protected the paint better than anybody else this year.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Good.
Can I move to the next one?
Yes, do it.
All right. The next one it's maybe my favorite award. It's the Body Snatcher Award.
Oof.
All right. This is the guy that offered the most aerial embarrassment this year, dunking on people. Maybe they don't have to be the most creative, sick dunker, like dunk contest dunker, but just yamming on people this year. It's got to be Big Cinny.
Yep.
Oh, Mitch.
Some of his posters this year were flat out sinful. It was Big Cinny. He was a bad man. Like, what it was. He had that one on Shingrui Wu.
Yeah, and at the finals, he baptized the man.
Yep.
On Shingrui Wu.
Oh.
It's one thing to get dunked on. It happens to the best of us. But you can never find yourself in this position looking up at a man that just did something to you. He just dunked on you. And you fall and you got to look up at the man standing above you. That means that he owns you at that moment.
That was disrespectful. I agree.
One more disrespectful, and Mitch Hahn definitely won this award, just an honorary, and it happened at the AmeriCup. Jerome DeRosier. That was on the man's shoulder.
JD had one. Yeah, JD had one. Parrott had a nasty one. Flight mode early in the year.
Yeah,
Parrott had the opener. I remember he almost ended a Japanese dude's 3x3 career.
It's terrible, man. Yes, I think that's why I lost control. that was this year. So that one wasn't so hard because you could say that Mitch Hahn literally rose to the occasion at the final.
Yeah.
He ends with a body, and towards the tail end, the stretch of the season, he had a few of those one-legged takeoffs on top of dudes. So
Mitch, please.
Mion. Okay, good. So you guys are agreeing with me so far.
All right.
Okay, this one is my 3x3 Kyrie award. So this is like, I think I technically called it Deepest Bag Award. Right, so this is a combination of ankle breakers, Euro steps, moves, the most dangerous player off the dribble in the league. And I think that you guys might know who I picked here. This one should be a home run. Vince is
This is worthy, no?
Of course.
It has to be.
It has to be. It's none other than hype worthy. His bag is, how would you describe his bag? It is bespoke. It is unique. He's got everything in that bag, bro.
It's one of those bags you take out when you go out fishing in the north of Minnesota. It has a lot of pockets, and there's a lot of different things in there.
Extra
He's
little
a cargo pants. That's what he is.
extra little areas inside. He's pulling some shit out you hadn't seen before. Like, for me, that one was unanimous. I didn't expect much pushback on that one. Vince, you agree?
No, I agree. Again, and his new thing about the double, shots he does in celebration after a snatchback after he has way too much confidence. And then what he does is that now he knows the camera's always on him. I think there was one final, literally he was trying to talk, and he goes like, he's like,
he's a showman.
He knows, but he wants that. But the thing is that there's certain people as a Kyrie, you get a snatchback, you get a cross, you get an ankle breaker in the moment. He's actually looking at you and doing like a Babe Ruth going, he's gonna fall right there. Watch this. Pop up. And then so yeah.
So shout out to Worthy. I said the only way you can read Worthy is by picking up his new book. That's it. All right. Oh no, this one might be.
Hold on a second.
Might be.
Hold on, look at Bas.
Of course. I got the Worthy signed edition here. I'm happy with it.
No shameless plug. We love Worthy.
No, not at all.
I'll repeat this one. This is my Lethal Shooter Award. He understands it now. I mean, it's pretty self-descriptive. The most dangerous shooter in the league. Y'all want to take any guesses? Y'all want me to just drop it? Want me to drop it? I'm dropping it.
Do it.
I'm dropping it. Vince, you just saw him. Listen, you can always gamble on
Mitch, please.
Lotto.
Oh, Lotto. And a lot.
Baby.
Yes.
I know we didn't see him a lot towards the end of the year, but you gonna tell me that there's a more lethal shooter?
Antonio got it.
Argue with me if you want to. I'm ready for the smoke if you want to. There's nobody, and I think players in the league, I think he's earned the respect of his contemporaries in the league, bro. You are literally afraid to allow Antonio Rollat to get any look, mid-range, long-range. The man will kill you.
Can I give you a slight remark here? Because I think it's a two-headed monster here. I think Rollat, it should be at the top, but I think another guy should be at the top as well.
Who? Oh,
num 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 num.
Cookie Monster.
The Cookie Monster. Boss, I actually had him first, but I said, you know what? We only saw Richard Cooks twice this year, and one performance was lights out, and the other performance was dog shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Dark.
I mean, it was. I mean,
but the man,
one of the worst
the man
shooting
took
performances.
55 twos in 2 events.
That's a
55 twos in 2 events.
That's nuts. Yeah,
that is insane.
Yeah, but good. That's a good. If Cooks has played more, I think him and Antonio Rollat are 1-2 in terms of teams. When he got the ball, he's like, oh shit, no, we got to get out, get a hit up on him now. Like,
something.
They strike fear in guys. So that's my Lethal Shooter Award.
Okay.
Don't you agree with that one?
I'm a I mean, I got to meet his family at the AmeriCup and everything, and you have to admit, a lot of teams rather him drive. There's situations like I'd rather you score. I'd rather you give up a 1. I'd rather close out so close that I stop right next to your hip to give you that beam line and hope weak side help comes down. Antonio got that.
He's a cheat code in that way. Yeah.
Yes.
So one more name comes to mind before we move on, and I don't think that. So I think there should be a distinguishment between a shooter off the dribble, which is what Antonio Rollat is. He creates his own look and then knocks it down, a very tough look usually, and catch and shoot type guys. I think Kuksik falls in between because he kind of creates his own looks out of his movement. The best catch and shoot guy to me in the league is Zeke Xiaoqiang.
Really?
Because he's shooting almost 40% on catch and shoots. He's not creating those looks. Those all come out of double teams on Cam Forte.
All right,
but I think he's up there.
That's a pick nobody would pick. Boss always coming with these left. That's a good one. That's a good one. He made me think about that one. I'm gonna keep it on shooting though. I'm gonna keep it on shooting because my next award is called the Mamba Mentality Award. This is the guy who you want taking that last shot this year. We ain't gonna talk about total body of work because Dejan Majstorovic is gonna get that fucking award every time. We talking about 2025 this year, and I was sitting there recording it, and I said, you know what? Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and everybody act like they forgot about Dre. They forgot about Dre. The DRE, Andrea Milutinovic.
Bitch.
I think he was tied for second on the most game winners this year.
Agreed. Yes.
Smooth shooter, wants the big shot. He's a very humble dude, high basketball IQ, and is an absolute killer in late game situations. I had to give him my Mama Mentality Award as the most clutch shooter in the sport 2025. Agree?
The
Arguments?
DRE.
I tend to agree, although Stefan Kojic still comes to mind. I'm not sure why.
No,
And of
he
course,
does. Yeah.
Chef.
and Leon Fatigue also comes to mind. But I'd give it to Andrea Milutinovic, right?
Okay. Just, mix it up a little bit. Bas will like this one. And
Uh-oh.
this one was super contentious for me, Bob. It was so contentious. And Vince. So hard.
What's up?
This was best pickup of 2025. So best pickup means like best
Yeah.
add to a roster. And we all know the list is long.
Long.
Long. A lot of offseason moves and a lot of guys that were impact players for their team this year. Man, oh, I already picked it, so I got to just go with it. I went with the Caruso.
Caruso. Yep.
I went with Henry Caruso. It's the
Caruso.
best offseason ad this year. And there
No
were a lot.
qualms.
When you talk about Dragon Ball Z, Milos Antic and what he did in turning Ripper's season around, Hangju with Kaluderovic,
Lazic,
right?
Kaluderovic, you're right.
Like, yo, man, this one was hard. Really, really. Pause. I saw your face there.
I wasn't saying
The,
nothing.
the Santa Paws Award is coming up next.
We
Okay.
almost went through a whole episode with no pauses. You brought it up.
but for me, man, it was very difficult. But I settled on Caruso because I thought that we saw him grow as a player in the game before our eyes as being just strictly a duty type guy, role type guy, into a guy that could win the game for you. So that he was my pick for the best pickup.
I
All right.
I agree.
And
Okay.
this one is so difficult to gauge because there's so many components to this. So I'm not saying I agree. I think this list is too big because we have not mentioned Stefan Kojic getting
yeah.
getting
Skyliners, that's true.
the Skyliners a World Tour win. We have not mentioned the biggest, one of the, if not the biggest, what if of the season, Vuk Borovicanin, who got hurt and kind of derailed Partizan's season, but it was also a great pickup.
Yeah.
There's so many names you could throw in the mix here that I think Caruso has had the most impact as a new guy on the squad.
Hey,
So
just
we
real quick.
yeah.
I was about to say, what if Wang played a couple of more games? Yeah, man. What if Wang played a couple of more games instead of just one on a world tour? Think about what if he had 3 or 4. Hey.
Yeah, but you know what? They left him wanging.
There you go, B. Bars Wrestling back, baby.
Like the Leonardo DiCaprio there. Hey, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good one.
Okay, here's a good one. Most improved award / he got next.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I know where this one's going.
All right, it's got to be. Everybody needs a good connect.
Oh, really?
I didn't think it was going to be Balkan.
Oh, Marty
actually,
B.
I don't mind
Marty
that pick.
McFly. What we
Oh,
talking
wow.
about? We talking about MVP conversation for Balconnect. This last year, Balconnect wasn't bad, but we saw him a lot less. He stepped into that 1A role for Amsterdam with confidence. He played like a boss, man. He played with some attitude. Like, to me, he was really complimentary to Worthy. He gave him some real offensive punch. And I said, from 24 to 25, a lot of guys made a big leap, I thought. But I think for Balconnect to go for a guy who wasn't in the discussion much in terms of amongst the best players in the league, I thought he was routinely in that discussion, especially early this year. Some personal things happened to where he had to take some time off. But overall, bro, to me, he got next. I'm talking about stepping into to stardom, putting his face on some posters, like that type of thing. I think it's Martin Balkanek for me, 2025. He gets that award.
I thought you were gonna pick your Lion Man, Leon
That's
Fatigue.
what I thought.
I thought it was gonna be a wee.
Nah, yeah, it could have been, but Fatigue was pretty damn good last year too.
Okay, I'm just saying. I thought that would be. He was better this year. I like taking
No,
up
but
more of
look,
the
if you got
dominant
an
role.
argument for it, you say I don't. I like Marty, but Kyle, it's got to be Fatigue. It's got to be this guy. I'm okay with that.
I just thought you were gonna pick him, but I see what you said. But Balkanek, I've said this when I saw him in Edmonton, and this was a while ago. This is like that was mid-season. You're balling out. I'm loving watching you play. You're a silent assassin. You're not a yapper. You're a shower in a sense of as soon as you get on that court, don't leave you open. You've been moving and grooving, and you're getting better every tournament. So that's why I'm not. It's just that the young lion, the mane has definitely coming out, shooting a lot more confidence coming off the dribble. So I'm just saying.
He's, I like it. He's like chewing a lot more. He's what does that mean? He's eating. He's feasting some more. I got you.
That's it. Just hey, and like I'm taking a rock. He's doing the whole get out the way. I'm going. Even Stefan gets in the corner and goes.
I dig it.
Hey, pass it back. He would get no lead.
I
Go,
dig it.
go.
I dig it. I dig it. I wouldn't argue with that. I fought with myself on that award. This is another one, but I said I got to give the flowers to one. I'm gonna give it to Balcony.
Okay, bye.
All right, unsung hero award. Y'all ready for that
All right.
one?
Yeah, sure.
All right, unsung hero. So this the guy that doesn't get much acclaim, doesn't get much attention, but he's so critical to his team's success.
Muhammad. No.
Lord,
you got
catch the
jokes.
strays out
You got
here.
jokes. He gonna watch this podcast and he gonna have something for you next time he see you. This one was hard too. It was a long list of guys. So the Andrew Kellys, the Dusan Popoviches, the Kevin Bryants, and even Antich, and like a lot of these guys could be put on there. But I think this one's gonna shock y'all. Y'all won't expect this one. Unsung hero, underrated, doesn't get the acclaim. Chef Gerald D. Jerome DeRossier.
Yes,
Jerome
that would've been my pick too.
DeRossier of Team London. Shout out to them. A lot of people sleeping on Jerome DeRossier, man. But he's got the respect of players around the league. A lot of teams would love to have a Jerome DeRossier because he can do a little bit of it all for you. Jerome gets you 7 points in the game. Mm-hmm. You probably wouldn't be too smart leaving Jerome open from 2 range. Jerome might yam on your head. And Jerome ain't going to complain one iota. He's going to stay silent. I think also the fact that he's such a good guy, man. If you don't like Jerome DeRossier, something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like, Jerome is such a likable dude. He plays hard, 100% the whole time. He doesn't complain. And he is an impact player on that London team. I think they're going to be scary next year. And it's going to be centered around Jerome DeRossier. I had to get that man some flowers. Y'all like that pick, huh?
Yes.
I got to give a behind-the-scenes story real quick. I know we got a little bit of time. When we were at the Americup and we're doing the photo shoots, you know how everyone has, their poses, and then you get the Instagram pic. A lot of the guys who got muscles want to get and they scream. Jerome says, I'm going to do the scream, but I'm not going to scream. I'm like, then what's the point of doing it, dude? No, I don't want to be too loud. People are eating breakfast. Who cares? Who cares? But he does it and go, and that's it. And I'm like, and then he goes like this. He goes, all right, I'm going to get some coffee. Bye. I'm like, you can't. He's such a nice guy. And then we got some good, but on the court, though, he's Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde, because he could turn on that motor.
He can.
So, and I'm not sure if this guy qualifies, right? I think Jerome is very deserving of this award. I want to put one name in the hat, though. Tianlang Zhang for Chongming. Because there's 3 guys on the squad that get way more attention than him, in Norris Miezes, Carlos Lasmanis, and Cameron Forte. This dude averaged almost 7 points per game. and did it all for Chongming in spurts where Cam wasn't playing, where he was even with only Mieses. And he's not talked about as a top player in this game. He's a big guy that averages 7 and 4.
I think his time is coming, though, boss. You know, who knows what Chongming's roster is going to look like next year? But when it's decided that Diang Langjiang is going to be the centerpiece of that Chongming team, he's going to be a Aurelius Pukelis type player for his team. A stretch big that he'll destroy you inside, and he'll murderize you from outside too, and also has some good vision. He was there too. If you can see the list of names on my phone, you see his name there. That's a good throw in, boss. All right. Damn, I've gotten to the last award already.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
I got it. Man. I didn't have a fancy name for this award. I mean, it's 3 letters. MVP.
I know where this one's going.
Now, the consensus MVP is voted on by their contemporaries, and I think the media gets a vote and the fans. It's Dr. Strange. It was Strahinja Stojicic. That's who won it. But I don't always agree with who the fans and the players vote as the official MVP. Not always. Because there was another player on who we knew was almost the glue, or we felt like was the glue that was holding them together this year. Maybe the numbers aren't the same. But I still couldn't go with him. The MVP is the MVP is the MVP. Make no mistake about it. It's none other than the mustache marauder himself, the sorcerer supreme, the great, the future Hall of Famer, man, Doc Strange, Strahinja Stojicic. He solidified it with me with his play down the stretch, man.
Yep.
Of the end of the regular season, and then I looked at his numbers, and as good as Brankovic was for them this year, as good as he was, I couldn't argue with it, bro. Dr. Strange, bro. He's the best player in the game. He's the MVP. I won't argue with it. I picked him as the MVP.
Okay.
I looked at this too. In every single statistical category, Strange beats Marko Brankovic.
Yes.
I tried to make the case, and I was like, nah, no.
I saw the same.
And he was so important, though, Brankovic, during the season in spurts where either Strahinja didn't have it, Dejan, of course, going out with that injury. But Strahinja's had quietly an extremely good year.
Yeah. He was damn near 7 points a game. He led the league in player value.
He led the league in twos. He
man.
came up big. He led the league in key assists. He led the league in drives. Like,
two-point percentage was up this year, and he played through injury.
Yep.
Like, yo. Oh wait. I did leave one award off, and we just mentioned Marko Brankovic. This was probably my funniest award. This was for the best passer, and this award was called "Keep the Change, You Filthy Animal." That's what this award was called. And that one goes to the Beast. This is for the best passer. Total body of work 2025. Like, his dime package was crazy this year. And he was up there. I think he was third in key assists.
He was third. Dylan Travis ended up being first.
So I took care of every aspect. Ball handling, passing, dunking, shooting, overall defense, boom. Those are the voices end of season awards, guys.
Do you want to know who are 4th and 5th on the key assist list on the year? And Hugo Suhard is expected. Jonas Voorts.
Oh no.
Really?
Voorts got some. Yeah, he's got some passing vision now.
But Voorts also was a guy where I was like, yo. He was in that. He was up there with in terms of the best passers to me. Voorts was up there.
Okay. All right.
Well, you know what, guys? I think we in this episode with a teaser because we haven't gotten to the America Cup or the Africa Cup yet.
Yeah.
But since it's my fault, ladies and gentlemen, I had some issues. I pushed this back 20 minutes, but it's good because because we're going to have a special edition episode coming up
Mm.
next. We're going to plan it for right around Christmas time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to have some pretty cool, like, Christmas type awards to give out. We're going to give our thoughts on both the America Cup and the Africa Cup.
Mhm.
And we might have a special guest appearance, right? Someone who plays in the league that's going to give some great perspective and join the show. So it's going to be a full show. So we'll save the America Cup and the Africa Cup stuff for the next episode. Is that all right with y'all guys?
That is fine.
All
Yes.
right. All right. Hey, yeah. I didn't get as much
Just-
pushback on my awards as I thought. I like that. I like that.
You know some things. You know some things, sir. You know some
But-
things, sir.
Yeah.
Listen,
not
if
bad.
y'all
I know you put a lot of thought into them.
if y'all got some pushback on my awards or anything that we talked about in this episode, listen, we invite you to get active with us, engage with us. We want your comments. We want you guys to make sure you follow us. That's at Word on the Streets. Replace the E's with threes. That's where you find us on social. That's where you watch the podcast on all the major platforms and YouTube. Got it? All right. Appreciate y'all for watching. For Bas, Vince, I'm Kyle. This has been Word on the Streets. We'll see y'all for the special holiday edition coming up next. Be on the lookout. Peace.
Oh,